Hey y'all, thanks for tuning back into Chickanic. I hope everybody's having a great week. Did you miss me? I've been gone for about a week and a half. I took the entire 4th of July week off. I had family in that I hadn't seen in about 5 years, including my brother, who is currently working his 16th year in the Navy. But it is Monday and I got a customer saw up on the bench that I bet a lot of you have this same exact problem, and hopefully if you watch this video, it'll save you some time, money, and frustration in the future. But before we get into today's video, if you're a fan of saving time, money, and frustration while fixing your own small engine equipment while watching in-depth tutorials, you've come to the right place because that's what I do. I upload a couple times a week, and if that sounds interesting, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell, and please leave a comment. I love to read through the comments, and I will reply to all the early commenters. Now, what we have here is a saw that I'm really not sure what it is because the little plate's missing. It does say that it is 72 cc's right here on this little information plaque, but I'm going to guess that it's probably a Stihl MS462. It's what it looks like to me, and go with that. But the reason that the customer brought it in, he's one of my commercial guys. I know y'all are like, oh, they don't take care of their saws. He uses this thing every single day. This is like a $1,400 chainsaw. But he brought it in saying that the chain would not quit running. And a lot of times there's things you're going to check before you dig in deep, but I went ahead and looked at it just a little bit, noticed there might be an issue behind this sprocket. I want to check the clutch to make sure that the springs are okay, that's not what's making it stay engaged all the time. But I left it sitting here over vacation on my bench, and I came back to a gigantic puddle of oil. So we're going to look for both issues. We're going to see why the oil is just draining out like crazy and why the chain won't quit spinning. Yeah, this thing doesn't have anything coming out the channel where the oil is supposed to come out, but it's just dripping out like a sieve through the bottom. Now, since the oil is not coming out the little oil reservoir area right here and just coming out behind this plate, I'm going to go ahead and take my T27, take this little screw out, remove this plate, see what's going on behind here. Go ahead, pop this out, get that plate off there. So, I really can't tell much. It might have just been coming out. This is moist right here. Might have been coming down this whole thing. I'm really not sure. Instead of making it up there, maybe the plate was just not tight enough to keep it. It doesn't look like it's coming out of the bar oil tank vent. That looks dry, so I think it was coming straight down here. So that's not that big of an issue if it's just running through. There might be issues under here though. So let's take this sprocket off and see what's going on. Now you do have a little E-clip right here. You're going to want to cup your hand over it as you take that off, or it'll go boing, you'll never see it again. We got our washer. This one has a rim sprocket on it instead of a regular spur sprocket. Oh, you can tell that rim sprocket's broken off before, and they've got little grooves where their chain ran on their sprocket here. It's got some buildup on the inside and been rubbing like crazy, so we'll have to see what's going on. You can see a ring, and I can feel the rib. It's been wearing non-stop, so it's definitely been running on that sprocket too much. We got a bearing here. Okay. Now my springs and my clutch actually look good. So we're going to get this clutch off. Now whenever removing the clutch from a chainsaw, you'll have to stop the piston. To do that, there's two different ways you can do it. You could either use a piston stop or you can use a piece of rope. I have been hesitant about telling people to use a piece of rope because I've had a few viewers comment back to me and some customers come in the shop that when they did it, I didn't explain it well enough, and they just stuck the end of a frayed piece of rope to start it with. And what happens is that frayed end will get stuck between the piston and the cylinder wall, and everything's stuck, and then you got to tear it apart to get it all undone again. So I'm going to be more thorough today to let y'all know when you go to put it in. I'd start with it doubled up like this and start into your spark plug hole like that. And once you've got enough in there, you can bring that piston all the way up to the top of your cylinder and it'll lock it in place to where it won't do a full rotation. Then we can get the clutch off. All right, so I'm going to start feeding this rope down in here. Oh, it's sort of hard with the 10mm hole. It's tiny. I got all of that rope pretty much down in there. Now I can turn the clutch forward until, see, it locks in place. Now you're pretty confident that you're not going to blow a hole through the top of your piston whenever you take this thing off. It does take a 19mm socket, and you remember you're wanting to go clockwise with this, so we're going to give it a little love tap to make sure that it's there, and then we're going to go at it. Just like that. Oh, clutch seems good. Oh, but we're missing the top on our worm gear here. It's supposed to have a little hook that goes up and grabs the, let me show you this part in this little notch in the sprocket, and that turns the worm gear to make it oil. But that could definitely have been pressed against the inside of the sprocket drum here, making it turn constantly, which would make the chain turn constantly. So that could have definitely been the issue of why the chain wouldn't quit turning. Now, while we have it off, what we do want to do is check the oiler gear right here that the worm gear rides against. Spin it around, make sure that all of the ridges are still on there, and they look fine. But what we do want to do is clean this up and see if it's leaking out of that oiler. Now, when I came out this morning, this thing was sitting in a huge puddle of bar and chain oil, and it looks like it leaked all of it out. That tank is almost near empty. So I'm going to fill it back up again, let it sit for a while, and see where it's leaking from. Now, when we fill it up, there are a few areas that we're going to want to be looking at here. Right at the bottom of this oil pump, there's a grommet where it goes into the side of the case. It could be leaking from there. It could be leaking from the oil adjust down at the bottom of your oil pump. It also goes into the side of the case right here. So we're going to be looking for those three areas, but I'm pretty confident that it was going through here and leaking out the side. So there's not really a shut off on the pump. If it stops in a certain position, it is possible for the oil to just keep coming out. As I've said in my earlier videos, if you do not want a case full of oil, the best thing to do is to pour it out whenever you're done. Take the side cover off, wipe it all clear, because a lot of times that residual oil that goes up into the side cover as you're running it sits there until you're done using it. You put it in your case, and then it just slowly all drips down into the bottom of your case. And guys, also do not forget these Stihl flip top gas caps supposedly are better now, but a lot of them leak. So we're just going to fill this thing up, let it sit for a while, see what she does. And while she's sitting, I got to find a worm gear. I am back, and although it doesn't seem like I've been gone in your world, I've been gone for about an hour. Went and picked up a worm gear from my local Stihl dealer because I did not have one in stock, and I'll show you exactly how much is missing off the one that was in there. Now, for this chainsaw, the part number is a 1128-640-7112, and as you can see here, that's how much it broke off. And from the looks on the inside of this drum is that it was rubbing along the inside of it for a long time, since it wasn't in its little groove where it's supposed to stay. It was just bouncing around in there and possibly making the chain just continue to spin. But what I did notice when I came back is even with a full tank of bar oil, I don't have any leaking out whatsoever. So this happens a lot of times when the oiler stops in a certain position. It can be both holes going from one side to the other, from the tank to the little channel up here. It can stop where it's open because it's pumping back and forth, but it's also just two holes on each side. So if it stops in that certain position, it can just continue to let bar oil flow through it until it moves out of that position. So just when I was checking the gear on the oiler earlier, me moving it around could have made it to where those holes don't line up and it not leak. So that's all I can see wrong with it. The brake band looks fine. Everything looks fine on the oiler. I'm going to go ahead, throw it back together, put a bar and chain on her, and see if the chain continues to spin. right, guys, last but not least, the money shot. Put her on choke. Take the compression release off. Give her a few love tugs. Ooh, that's a short rope. There she goes. Take her off choke. Come on. Yeah, that worm gear was definitely the problem. Now I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to point the tip towards the board and make sure that there's a steady stream of oil coming out. That way we know the oiler's working. Oh yeah, she works good. So guys, thanks again for tuning in to Chickanic. If you find yourself coming back over and over again, think about hitting the subscribe button. And if you ain't tired of me yet, check this video out right here.